Yo, what's up, everybody? I want to thank you for joining Soundoff today. This is your boy, K Paper Chase, and we here. So today, the subject, what I want to talk about is the name of it is the grind. Okay, so this is the grind. I think this is something important and something that we really need to talk about and just get into it and just try to share different experiences and stuff like that because it's something that we all got to do, right? We got to make that bag. So I thought it would be a good subject. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about the grind. All right, so I'll just go ahead and start with myself. Um, as far as what I do by profession, I'm an instructor. I'm a software instructor. I did go to college, but I didn't finish my college. So what happened is I was in college. I got to my third year. I got a job. It was a good job. And I felt like I didn't need it anymore, so I didn't finish it. And once I got into that working world, you know what I'm saying, I continued to work. So yeah, so I just wanted to get that out of the way so you can just see some perspective as far as the career path. But I do think that we have special obstacles, we have special things that we have to get over in the work world. And that's why I think a lot of people now would just have this entrepreneurial mindset. And I know I've been getting like that the older I get because it's just not the same. The grind isn't the same, you know. It's not like back in the day, like our parents said, where we work on our job 20 or 30 years and retire or maybe become a supervisor one day. It's different ways to do it now. So I think I'm more on the progressive part. But I want to talk about some of my struggles and stuff I went through in corporate America. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I want to talk about place I used to work for. It's an information technology company. And in that company, it was a call center and I was a call center trainer. So I would train the people that came into the call center. So I got sent on a trip. I used to travel a lot for the job. And what I would do is I would go and I would assist with the ramp ups of new call centers for this particular company. So I ended up in Idaho, Boise, Idaho. Like I said, I've been in Mississippi, I've been to Florida, never been to Boise, Idaho. So it was predominantly white when I got there. And I figured it was going to be that way, but everything went pretty well. So my job was to get this call center up and running. I had 8 weeks to do it. It was back at the time when Obamacare came out, so that insurance thing was real big, and we had to get it ramped up because Obama was going to call in that first day and check on something with the Affordable Care Act. So we had to get it together. So I was in charge of figuring out a plan how to deal with and train these 1,600 people. And we had, like I said, I think it was 8 weeks to do it. So I went there and I noticed that everybody was just really cool. I expected because it was a straight up white place and wasn't many black people there. I was expecting, I don't know, maybe to give me a hard time, maybe to kind of undermine me, and stuff like that, and not want to follow instruction. Looking back on it, I do know a couple of reasons why I didn't have a hard time, at least out on the outside when I first started. I was the only one that knew the Affordable Care Act, so I had to train them. So this was new to everybody. So my plan is I'm going to train the trainers and the supervisors. They're gonna be able to train these people, and boom, in 8 weeks we good. So, like I said, everybody was cool. The training lead, there was a training director of training there. Italian dude who's real cool. I went over his house a couple of times, ate with his family. Like I said, I'm here for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, don't really know anybody. So, he kind of introduced me to his family, stuff like that. So that was really cool. As far as my experience, I thought I would go through more racism. I noticed that everybody was just really cool, really agreeable, really cool. And sometimes I thought, hey, are they being fake? Because this is really crazy. But I didn't have a hard time. Now I was in the elevator. So in these buildings, there's limited access. So you have to use your card in order to get into the building. So I was in an elevator one day with this older white lady, and she was like, "You need to show me your ID." And I said, "What?" So I said, "I'm gonna mess with her. I don't think she know because my ID was. I mean, I got my ID." So she's like, "You need to show your ID." And I was like, "Excuse me." She was like, "Show your ID right now." She's getting really rude. So, of course, I didn't show her ID, but I did introduce her myself. I let her know that I was the one that was coming from Richmond, and I'm here to train you all. Totally, everything changed. She apologized, and everything was good. So, that's what I went through. So I started figuring out like maybe they aren't being nice to me off the rip just to be nice to me, they being nice in my position, and that's what I found out, especially like anytime you got any kind of training class or you an instructor, the people are kind of kiss up to you because they want to pass the class. They kind of want to you know what I'm saying? They want to do what they need to do to pass that class. So I know now that a lot of the niceness that I was on is just because I was going in as a lead. But of course, stuff will happen. They'll probably do sneaky stuff that I never know about. So yeah, everything went good. I mean, I stayed there, like I said, for the whole time. Actually, we had to extend the contract, so I ended up staying there like 4 more weeks. That was my first time being in a place where really nothing to do, didn't know anybody. And like I said, there weren't many black people. So it's a black dude. He was a supervisor. Anyway, I kind of like walked up to him, dapped him up, like, "What's good, brother?" So we eventually, what I'm saying, we instantly hung out, kind of made a connection. And that was real cool. And that's what got me through that trip. And as far as the grind, like I said, I really don't have a lot of problems. You do have your people who are know-it-alls, and you do have some people when you're trying to teach, especially if they think that they know a little bit. Like case in point, when I was working for them, they would make up scenarios. I don't know, just try to stump you. But my confidence comes from knowing the material. So I knew the material so good, it was nothing that, you know what I mean, that could really do about that. So everything was going fine. I think the president already called. I was just staying another 6 weeks or a few weeks just to make sure everything was okay. And like I said, this was Idaho, Boise, Idaho, mostly white people. So we had a bomb threat. All of a sudden, it's a bomb threat. So we're going outside. We had to stay outside about 4 hours for the bomb threat. So if people came through, everything was good. We went back to work and found out that it was a bomb threat, but I didn't know what the bomb threat had said. So the bomb threat said, "We're going to kill all the niggers. If you don't kill all the niggers that's here, we're going to blow up the place." All right, so this is my thing, right? Everybody was cool. Like when I was teaching them, everybody was cool. But then, once I guess everybody was trained, they wanted my black ass up out of there. So it was just really weird. And the whole time I was the only black person standing out there with like 300 or 400 people in the parking lot. I was like, damn, these white people could kill me, man. And I'm the only one standing out there. Now, at the time that we were outside, I didn't know what the bomb threat was about. I didn't know that there were threats because I probably would have went somewhere else or went home, something like that. So anyway, we end up going back in after a couple hours, and they said they would do an investigation. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's time for me to go. Maybe I need to just, you know what I'm saying, just call my director and be like, yo, I need to come. I need to go. But I said, you know what? I only had like another week. I said, I'm gonna stick it out. So I stuck it out. Everything went pretty much according to plan. Learned a lot, taught them a lot, learned a lot about, how they work in that particular area. So I got back. I was back here at the job in Richmond. I didn't have another trip to go on. So I was probably back about a day or two. And then one of the supervisors from the Idaho call center called me. The guy that I said that we kind of hung out, we kind of connected. All right, so he called me and he told me that the training coordinator, director of training, had been arrested. So he had been arrested for was it like terrorism, or making some kind of terrorist vibes or something like that. He was threatened. Anyway, he was the person that did the bomb threat. So when I found that out, I didn't even believe it. I mean, I looked it up. I was able to see him face and everything. Still didn't believe it. So the thing that kind of got me is like maybe I was in danger and I didn't know that I was in danger. So I don't know if that would have been better or worse for me. But this is the guy that I went over his house. I met his wife. I met his daughter. I actually ate dinner with these people, and it finds out he was the one that made the threat. So it just really messed me up, man. It just really messed me up because that wasn't what I was expecting. And like I said, he was so cool. I never would have known that it was an issue with me being black. But like I said, they had a way of kind of not showing it, kind of agreeable. Everything is all good. And after I left, or after I taught them what I need to teach them, that's when they started acting up. So anyway, I went to my HR. I tried to get some money for it. I was just joking with the lady. But I was like, can I get a day off for stress or something like that? And I showed her, and it was crazy and it was wild. So yeah, so I ended up, going on a couple of more trips on that job. And yeah, everything ended up good. But yeah, I just wanted to tell that story as far as, you know, what I went through, because I think that being a black man in the workplace, I'm not saying that everything is stacked up against you, but what I notice is it's more of a consensus. So, if you the dude that, you're working on your machine, whatever, you do what you gotta do, you don't make no noise or nothing like that. Those are the people that get by. And then, they're able to have that stability because they can get by and they can do that. But with me, I'm always not pointed out, but I don't know. It always is bigger. So what I would do on the job is I would dumb myself down. I can do more than anybody else. I can do twice as much, and I would do it a couple of times to let them know. But I would dumb it down. So by me dumbing it down, it will make people less suspicious of me. I used to just let people win sometimes because when it all boils down, it really doesn't matter. It's an ego thing. But yeah, I would have to dumb myself down. So that's not a good thing because you're not able to shine necessarily on the job, but it's something that we have to do in order to get through, and we have to assimilate. I mean, work ain't honest, but it pays the bills, right? So that's what I would do. I would assimilate as far as on the job. And like I said, I just think it was different for me because I would have a job. I had another job with this agency, and I was the same position as a couple of white guys in there, but they were making so much more money than me. And I found that out, just them talking and stuff like that. And it really pissed me off. I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, and they were telling me that if I'm working, then I shouldn't worry about what other people are doing. I'm here to do a job, never worry about other people. So, that was one of those things that, I listened to them because that is good advice. But man, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to feel like I'm just as wanted as they are. Because what happens is in the workplace, a lot of people would tend to slack off, but as a minority, as a black man, we have to work twice as hard to get recognized. So somebody else could be mediocre and they get the promotion even though they don't know how to do the job, and they would be chosen before me. And I did an excellent job. So it's almost like being in a movie and being typecasted. You get to a function on the job and you get stuck on that function. You know what I mean? So my last job, I was the only person that was able to do that function. But like I said, they have a way of using you after your function is done. And the whole time, they'll promise you, we're gonna give you this raise, we're gonna make you the supervisor of the whole department. And I got that a lot in order to push me. But they don't know, they weren't really pushing me. That's how I work anyway. I'm just really fast paced. But it's like dangling the banana, on the fishing line or the honey bun or whatever, and I'm chasing it. And I noticed that that was a pattern with me with all of my jobs. So that being a pattern, I say I need to learn how to kind of reinvent myself and not necessarily slack off, but just learn how to do just a little bit better than everybody else. I'm still gonna do better, but I can bring it down. So instead of doing twice as well, I can still do it better. And that was something that was hard for me to kind of get a hold of because I am very competitive and I like what I did. So that was kind of difficult. But yeah, but that's what I want to know. Have you ever had to kind of dim your light, or then you dim your light on the job? And I want to hear from you guys. So tell me what you think. And thanks for joining Sound Off. Now I'll holler at you. It's K Paper Chase. Peace.